Herzlich willkommen zu unserer dritten Ausgabe von Experten auf der Couch, der Interview-Reihe von und mit Inviqa. Um welches Thema soll es jetzt in den nächsten Minuten gehen? Welche Expertise stellen wir Ihnen heute vor? Es geht darum, wie man mehr Nutzer auf einer Webseite dazu bringt, eine gewünschte Aktion durchzuführen und wie man das mit möglichst minimalem Aufwand erreichen kann. Das Ganze nennt sich Conversion Rate Optimization. Und wir haben bei Inviqa mit Clinton einen echten Experten zu dem Thema. Clinton ist Conversion Rate Optimization Specialist und bei uns seit vergangenem Jahr im Team. Und ich habe mir noch Amelie als zweite Expertin hinzugeholt. Amelie ist Client Success Director bei Inviqa Deutschland und kennt den Bedarf zu diesem Thema von Kundenseite ja sehr gut. Und weil Clinton in London sitzt, wechseln wir jetzt ins Englische. Hello Clinton, hello Amelie.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys? Are you okay?
Very well, yes.
Yeah, pretty good.
Clinton, when someone asks you about your job, how do you explain in a few sentences what a conversion rate optimization specialist really does?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I would say is I would try to define what conversion rate optimization is. And what that is, it is the process by which we improve the percentage of visitors that take an action. And that could be any action that depends on whatever client's digital property that we're working on. It could be making a sale or increasing newsletter subscribers, whatever that may be. CRO is the process by which we improve the rate of people that do that.
Why should, from your point of view, companies incorporate conversion rate optimization into their business?
Any company should incorporate CRO into their business because there's really quite a few benefits. But if I can just limit it to just four, one of them is that it solves your visitor pain points. So a major part of what makes CRO what it is research. So we believe as a CRO practitioner that any change or any recommendation we give should be backed by data. And so through research, we can understand what things aren't performing that well on a company's site. If there's a step along their checkout flow, for example, that has a very high drop off, we'll find that using analytics or some other method. And we'll bring that all together and come up with recommendations and say, here's what's not performing. Here's what we think you should do about it. And so we can solve those visitor pain points quite easily. Another benefit is that we can kind of unlock the potential of the existing traffic. So with clients, they will be spending presumably some money on paid media to push traffic to their site, but they'll also be dealing with existing traffic on the site. And so through CRO, what we can do is we can maximize the potential of the traffic that's already on the site and get them to convert higher. From a paid media side, what this means is if you're spending a lot of money pushing paid traffic onto your site from social or from Google search ads, you're sending a lot of traffic onto a web page that might not be optimized for it. And so by optimizing that web page, we're increasing your return on ad spend from an ad spend perspective. And so we can really increase your ROI that way. Another benefit is we can improve your SEO rankings. So we know that search rankings are based in part by the user experience on your site. And through conducting research or through testing, as an example, we can improve the user experience of the site. So we can reduce your bounce rates, which we know is a very strong indicator to search engines that your site has really good user experience, and so it'll rank higher. We can offer up recommendations, for example, that reduce your page load speed, as an example, and that's another good indicator to search engines that your page is really good. And so you can rank higher on search engines by conducting CRO. The last one, and this is one that is one of the most important, we can help you make low risk modifications. A big part of CRO is testing, experimentation, things like A/B tests or MVT tests, or whatever, personalization tests. And through testing, what we can do essentially is that we can test out a particular change. So you don't have to spend a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of budget on a massive redesign, as an example, just to see whether it's going to have an impact or not. We can roll this out in maybe smaller iterations, and then we can give you the results of that, measure the impact to see whether it's positive or negative, and then you can roll it out in the future. So really what it gives you is allows you to make less risky changes on your site and more data-driven changes on your site through testing. And so these are just some of the kind of key benefits to the CRO methodology.
For which companies, with which kind of websites does it make sense to deal with conversion rate optimization?
Any company, honestly, all companies should. I'm a bit biased here, but any company that has a goal that they're trying to achieve should be looking into doing CRO, because like I said, CRO is really the process of increasing the rate of people that do something. Whatever your goal or your main KPI is on your web page, be it if you're a blog site, you're trying to get more subscriptions, or you're an e-com site, you're trying to get more sales, or if you're a lead gen site, trying to get more leads. These are all goals, and you can use the CRO methodology to come in and increase the rate of people that do that through optimizing your pages. And so really any kind of company should be at least looking into doing some form of CRO.
Can you give us an example of clients you worked for and what you could achieve with these clients?
I worked for an accessories company here in the UK, quite a big one. They came to us with a very specific problem. And so their problem was they wanted to optimize the journey for their email visitors. In other words, people who received newsletters or had signed up to their newsletters. They had seen that that journey wasn't as optimized. Those email visitors would click on the CTA in the email. They would land on the website, and the bounce rates were very high, the engagement rates were very low. And so they wanted to optimize that experience for them. So how we helped them is that we came in and we kind of reviewed that whole journey. We looked at the emails, we looked at the type of emails they receive, we looked at where on the site they were landing, and we tried to find what we call friction points, essentially things that hinder a visitor's ability to do what they want. And so we listed out all these friction points. We came up with changes or recommendations on how to alleviate these friction points. And then we conducted testing to see whether our changes would have a positive impact. And some of those tests that we ran won. So we were able to reduce the friction, we're able to kind of improve the user experience overall, and resulted in a higher conversion all in all.
Amelie, since you always have the customer glasses on, what do you think is the level of investment that is needed with conversion rate optimization?
Well, as Clinton put very well, I think the glory of CRO is that it can be very non-invasive. You don't really have to relaunch your entire website, redo your content, or rethink everything fundamentally to get good success. Now, if you realize that you have a fast loading website, you have your high quality images, your wonderful description of your texts, you have your Facebook ads and your Google AdWords, and you're still not performing, you're still not meeting your KPI, then you might want to look at your conversion rate optimization. And the investment that you can do in regards to the other money that you're spending might be quite minimal. It might actually show that you're spending money in the wrong areas. And so therefore, of course, it depends. But I think for the success that you can get out of it, it's quite minimal and non-invasive.
What are the limitations of conversion rate optimization?
So the limitations of CRO are similar to the limitations of other services, other digital marketing services. And what I mean by that is that it requires collaboration between us and whoever we're working with. The more collaborative the relationship, the more responsive, the more open-minded in general the relationship, then the farther we can get and the more gains we can have from CRO. And like I said, that's the same with really any service that you're trying to offer. The other thing about, that could be a limitation is not having a relationship that's open-minded. I know I mentioned this before, but let me expand on it just a little bit more. A big part of CRO is testing. And in testing, we know that you're measuring the impact of a variation compared to the control, right? What the site currently looks like. And while you're testing something out, you might not always win. And that's, what I mean by that is that the version might perform worse than what it looks like now. And so we have to take this iterative approach to testing changes on the site, and that could take some time. And so a limitation could just be if the relationship isn't open-minded or one where one that's patient, this kind of lengthy process of iterating on the changes can seem kind of bad, or it can be perceived as negative, right? It's taking too long to improve, my bottom line. And so that's one of the, if I can call it a limitation, it is that it's not having kind of the buy-in in the relationship from the other people that you're working with, and having a shared vision that we're going to try and iterate every change. It might win, it might not win, but we're going to keep going until we find the most optimal version of this page. And that could be limiting for some clients.
As a client success director, you always have our client success in mind, and you're always looking one step ahead for our clients. So how decisive for the success of a website do you consider conversion rate optimization?
Well, fundamentally, conversion means trust. So what you want is your clients to whatever action it is you want them to do on the website, being it subscribing to a newsletter or purchasing a product, you want them to choose your website over 100 other options out there. So fundamentally, it is about knowing who you're addressing and getting them to convert on your website. And you do that, again, by doing research, by looking at data. It's not on a hunch. And by improving your website so people can find exactly what your claim to fame is very quickly, and how they can get from entering your landing page to the checkout or the subscription or whatever in a very quick manner. So like Clinton said, it's not a magic wand, but it's very important. It's the key to everything, is that people who land on your website, which is your front window of your business, that they feel that this is a trusted environment, and that the day that they are ready to convert to whatever it is, they choose you to do it.
Thank you both for the great insights into this topic. That was a lot of valuable information. Let me finish and switch back to German again. Sollten Sie Fragen an unsere Experten haben, können Sie gerne an Inviqa schreiben. Einfach auf unsere Webseite inviqa.de gehen. Dort gibt es jede Menge Kontaktmöglichkeiten, oder an kontakt@inviqa.de schreiben. Ich bin mir sicher, da tauchen ein paar Fragen auf. Wir sind jederzeit für Sie da. Ich freue mich schon auf die nächste Ausgabe von Experten auf der Couch. Bis dahin, alles Gute und bleiben Sie neugierig. And take care, guys. Bye, bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.